Hello everybody. It looks like we are live everywhere tonight except YouTube. So give me a moment. I thought I had it worked out, but apparently I don't. So give me another moment and I'll just put I've got a brand new thing I'm testing for those who are viewing on anything but TikTok. I have a brand new thing I'm testing, so let's see if it works, because unfortunately I can't share my software with TikTok yet, but it will happen. I just need time, so let me just pop the pre-show back on, which hopefully is something that can be seen by everybody who's not on TikTok. Let me just see if we can get YouTube working for us. I'm just trying to get YouTube working, but it's not really working, which is going to be interesting. So I kind of need YouTube to make everything work. Okay. We'll make this work somehow. Okay. So welcome. Oops. Okay, try that. So welcome everyone. As you know, my name's Amanda Sutherland, and I'm going to talk tonight about colour and mood and how that can work for your business and how you can make it work for your business. So let's get going. So those of you who don't know me, my name is Amanda Sutherland, and I'm your content. Sorry, I'll try that again. I'm Amanda Sutherland, your creative content navigator. Oh, yes, I love colour as well. I've got some great comments coming in over on TikTok, so thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining me live. I'm a creative content. Yes, you did hear me stutter. It does happen from time to time because I'm not perfect. I'm just human. So it does happen from time to time. So basically, let me start that all over again. I'm Amanda Sutherland, your creative content navigator, and tonight I'm going to talk to you about mood and colour and see how we can help use what goes into mood and colour in our businesses. So yeah, let's hop on this journey together. Hopefully I've got enough notes tonight. Last week I had too many. Sorry, I've been asked to say that again. I'm Amanda Sutherland, your creative content navigator. So I'll be here again next Friday night for another live. But right now, tonight, I would like to have a bit of a chat about colour and mood and how that all ties in for everyone in business. So let's start with a little bit of colour psychology. Just getting my notes going over here. So let's start with a little bit about colour psychology. And that's basically the study of how colours affect human emotions and behaviours. It is a very powerful tool that can actually be used in branding, marketing, and content creation to create a desired response. Let me just get this right because I've got some words here. I want to make sure I get them in the right order. It can be used in branding, marketing, and content creation to create the desired emotional response from your audience. Now, you may be asking yourself, why is this important? Well, colours can evoke a very specific feelings, very specific associations, and understanding this can actually help you communicate and more effectively with your audience. So, with that said, let's have a look at primary colours and the moods associated with people, that people associate with different colours. So, as a general rule, if we start with red, and red is absolutely one of my favourite colours. You'll see it in just about everything I do. But red is a dynamic colour that is often associated with excitement and passion and energy. It's great for things like calls to action, promotions, and anything that needs a big, bold statement. But it can also be overwhelming, especially when overused. So finding the balance when using red is absolutely essential. Now, blue. In some places, red can actually be associated with anger and revolution. It also is there is also a very big cultural differences between the way all these colours are seen around the world. So bear in mind that I've come from a very Western culture, so my understandings of colours are related to the Western cultures. But one of the things I do want people to understand is that it is very, very, very dependent on the culture. Because I know in some countries, like China, for example, red is actually a lucky colour. It's a happy colour. It's definitely a happy colour. In other places, red is definitely anger, hatred, and it's that real fired up emotion that goes with it. So yes, there are very different meanings for all of the different colours. So we all have different opinions for it. So yeah, allow this to resonate with you in whatever way it resonates with you. Hey Lucia, I've got some Lucia over here on Facebook. Great to have you joining with us. So let's have a look now, quick look at the colour blue. Blue is often used as calming and trustworthy colours, and it's often used by brands who want to appear or convey that they have a professional, that they're reliable, and that there's a serene calmness about them. And I think that possibly comes from the idea of blue being a calming colour, potentially comes from looking at something like the ocean, which is often seen to be blue. And I know in some areas blue can also represent a darker meaning. But again, this is all just from one set of generalised perspectives from a Western culture perspective. But it's definitely, if you're going to be moving around the world, you definitely do need to be aware of what the cultural associations for people with different colours are. So just bear that in mind as I'm talking tonight. So yellows, for example, they're also associated with happiness, optimism and creativity. It's generally a cheerful colour that makes the audience feel more positive and energetic. And it can also be really, really, really perfect for grabbing attention because it stands out from the background. It has that ability to be, like red, overpowering, so we need to be careful how we use it. Now, those were the primary colours. So now looking at some of the secondary colours. Green. Green is often represents growth, harmony, balance. It's often associated with nature and renewal, making it a great choice for brands that want to convey a message of sustainability or health. It's also calming and can reduce stress. So again, I've got somebody over here on TikTok, I can't pronounce your name, sorry, who's saying that only works in areas with the colour theory only works in areas where the colour conditioning is met. And yes, that is true. And that's why I say you need to check your cultural area and the cultural expectations of colours when you are using them. And again, it's generally about where the perspective I've grown up with and I'm coming from is basically a Western version. But if you're in an Eastern or any other part of the world, check what it means in your area. So purple, let's move on. Purple is often linked with luxury, creativity and wisdom. It's a sophisticated colour that can add a touch of elegance and mystery to the brand. And lighter purples are often more playful, more romantic, while darker purples tend to be more serious and more regal. And I think that's a lot to do with the way the colour purple used to actually have to be created. Now, I may have my history slightly wrong here, so don't quote me on this one. But my memory of the colour purple comes from a particular sea animal which has a shell which, when processed, creates the colour purple. Now, I'm not 100% specific off the top of the head, but what that animal was. But it was, I do believe, it was quite a laborious process to create the colour purple, which is possibly why it's often associated with royalty, because they were the only ones at the time who could afford the colour purple. So let's move on with the next colour. It's orange. And orange is often associated with energetic characteristics, enthusiasm, vibrant areas. It's a color that encourages creativity, and it's often used to convey a sense of adventure and fun. It's great for brands who want to be seen as approachable and exciting. So again, you just got to take all these things into consideration, consider your area, and yeah, it works. It can have these effects. Now, moving on to the more neutral colors tonight. Black is another one of those colors that can be very polarizing and has lots of different meanings around the world. So make sure you check what black means in the market you're in. So black is often associated with sophistication, with elegance and power. It's a versatile color that can add a sense of luxury or seriousness to your brand. However, it does have the opportunity and can be perceived as intimidating or too severe if not balanced with other colors. And in some countries, a lot of countries, black is a color of mourning. So we do need to take these cultural considerations into account as we are looking at what colors we're going to use. Now, white is another beautiful neutral color. White often represents purity, simplicity, freshness. It can also help portray a sense of peace and color and clarity. It's just one of those colors that let me try that again, creates a sense of peace. So you'll often see white combined with blue to create a sense of peace and calm and trustworthiness. So don't be afraid to mix your colors either. And white is also a great choice for backgrounds, and it's actually a really great way to create contrast with other colors. Now, the next color we're going to have a little bit of a talk about is grey. Grey is neutral and balanced. It can be professional and modern, but it can also be seen as dull if overused. It can be really great when used properly or used in the right proportions for creating sophistication, especially when paired with more vibrant colours. So now that we've had a little bit of a look at the psychology of what goes into colour or what colours can evoke in people, let's have a look at some of how colour can be used in branding. So understanding colour psychology has been is really crucial when it comes to branding, because as we've spoken about, colours have different meanings for different peoples. So your brand colour palette should align with emotions and messages that you want to convey. And so let's have a quick look at some of the tips for choosing the right colours for you. It starts with knowing who your audience is and considering what colours actually resonate with them. And different demographics may have different colour preferences and associations. So again, you've really got to come down to understanding who your audience is. And sometimes the demographic can also be within the one country. Different age groups can actually sometimes also have different meanings for different colours. So there's a lot to think about when you are choosing colours. Now, another step in can help you choose a colour for your branding is defining your brand's personality. So what that simply means is to think about the personality traits that you want your brand to reflect. Are you aiming, for example, for fun and energetic? Or do you want a calm and professional vibe? So you basically need to choose colours that match the personality of the brand. And often what you'll find is the brand colours that work best are the ones that resonate with you as a person as well. So if you can find a colour that resonates with your audience and you, that's a really good way of starting to pick your brand colours. So the next thing you can probably do in picking your brand colours, it's not so much probably do, it's actually pretty important, is to, be consistent. Consistency is key when you're branding. Using your chosen color palette consistently across all platforms and materials, it actually helps to build a strong and recognizable brand identity. Now, for those who have known me for a long, long time, anybody that's known me for more than, say, the last 5-6 years, they will know how much I love color. So for me, as an example, bright, vibrant colors, they are me. Whereas other people I know, they prefer a more muted, more subtle tone, and that matches their personality beautifully. So it's just a matter of matching the colors to who you are as a person and who your brand is. And don't be afraid to play. You may not get it right to start with, so don't be afraid to play. Try it and see what happens. Now let's have a little bit of a look at creating color in content creation. So when we're creating content, color can play quite a significant role in how our messages are received. And here's some examples of how you can actually use color effectively in your content. You can use color to highlight key information. The use colors to actually draw attention to important information, or calls to action, like the big red buy now buttons we were talking about earlier. This can actually help guide your audience's focus and encourage them to take that desired action that you want them to take. But that's not the only thing you need to consider. You need to also create a visual harmony. So you need to make sure that your colors that you use in your content are visually harmonious. So they're not going to be complete opposite and completely look odd together. They need to feel like they belong together. And that helps create a visual harmony. Now, consider when you're creating your content, the emotion that you want to evoke and which are the right emotions for you and your content. Consider using colors that align in those emotions to create more impactful and engaging experiences. So that's in your marketing. So now we're going to have a quick look in content creation, Now we're going to have a quick look at color and mood and in social media. So as we all know, because we're on 3 platforms tonight, social media is a visual platform. So the colors we use can have a very significant impact on how our content is perceived. And here's some examples of using content. Look, here's some examples of using color effectively in social media. So choosing eye-catching colors. Use vibrant, contrasting colors to make your post stand out in a crowded feed. This sometimes will have the effect of attracting attention because it just stands out and increasing your engagement. But when you're doing that, you need to make sure that you're doing it with your brand consistency in mind. So that means ensuring that the colors you are using in your social media posts align with your brand's color palette. And what that does is, on a subconscious level, helps to reinforce your brand identity and makes your content easily recognizable in a world of content. Now, as we all know, colors tend to go in trends. So keeping up with color trends can actually, if it's done well, keeping up with the color trends can help your branding and your content and keep it fresh and relevant. However, it is really, really important to balance the trends with your brand's established color palette. And so I'm going to give you some tips now for incorporating some of the trends. So adapting the trends to your brand, you can choose trendy colors that complement existing palette rather than completely overhauling your palette. So what that does is it allows you to update your color palette, keeping you current, but maintaining your brand's consistency. So it's a little tricky, but it can definitely be done. And when done well, perfect. Very perfect. So when you're looking at the trends, you need to think about incorporating trendy colors in a very strategic way that is going to enhance your content rather than overwhelming your content. So, for example, trendy colours are really useful in accents or even seasonal campaigns. Now, something else that is really actually that I find a lot of businesses don't do, but is actually really important to do, is to monitor the audience reaction. Pay attention to how your audience responds to colour changes, and using this feedback, it will adjust your colour strategy if needs be. So it's really important to pay that. I've just put up, I've just mixed up my social media, for example, and I've gone full on bright everything. And all of a sudden, my personal feed notes, my personal posts are now standing out and getting more engagement. So it's a matter of paying attention to what works for you and what your audience is saying to you. So make sure when you are looking at colours, you actually take that into consideration. So something that people often ask is, how do I create a colour palette? So I'm going to give you some suggestions here on how you can actually go about this. Because it's not necessarily an easy process, but it is one that is well worthwhile doing. So, for example, you might start with a base colour. Now that base colour is often choosing a primary colour that reflects your brand's core messages and values. And then when you've got that picked up, you can build your palette around the base colour with complementary and accent colours. Now, something else to consider here is consider colour harmony. And we've touched on this as well earlier. Using colour harmonies such as complementary colours, and this is a word I struggle to say, analogous colours, triadic schemes. These often create visually pleasing combinations. So it's a matter of playing with your colours. And you may not get it right the first time. Know that. You may not get it right the first time. It may take a while to get them right. But don't be afraid to try. Because if you don't try, you can't get it right eventually. One thing you want to do, if you're not sure about your colours and when you're picking them, is test them. Test your colour palette in different contexts, such as on various devices and in different lighting conditions. And what this can do, it actually colours look in different situations. And then that way allows you to make sure that you're happy with the colour palette, how it presents in every scenario that you're likely to find yourself in. So, in conclusion for tonight, because we're going to wrap up tonight, because we've been going for almost half an hour. Thank you for listening and rambling, listening to me rambling about colour. It's one of my favourite things. So, in conclusion, understanding how colour affects mood and emotions is actually quite a powerful tool for enhancing your branding and content creation. Now, by choosing colours that align with your brand's personality and message, you actually can create more impactful and engaging experiences for your audience. So thank you for joining today's live session on colour and mood. I hope you find this information useful and valuable to you, and I hope that you're inspired to actually use colour more effectively in your own work. Now, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. And remember, your creativity is your greatest asset, and every colour you choose tells a story. Embrace your uniqueness and let it shine through in everything you do. Now, if you need support or inspiration, I'm here to help you navigate this creative journey. Now, I've also, if you do want more information on colours, I do have coming up, I think it's on Wednesday, I have a free colour masterclass. If you want to know more about it, check out my website, amandasutherland.com.au, and you will find some more information there. Or check any of my socials, because I'm pretty sure we've got it all over our socials at the moment that I'm doing this colour branding class. Now, thank you once again for keeping me here, letting me sit here and talk about one of my favourite topics, colour. And yeah, stay innovative, keep creating. I'm Amanda Sutherland, your creative content navigator. Bye for now.